What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-hosts, Josh and John Luke on this Monday. But joining us back again, one of our favorite guests, Matt McCarthy, a.k.a. Prodigal One on Twitter. He's the senior redraft analyst for Gridiron Rating, and we love having him on. What's up, Matt?
I was a little disappointed to find out I got beat to the 3-time guest spot, apparently by our friend Nate Polvo, but I'm happy to number 2.
By a few folks. I'm sorry to inform you, Matt.
I was wondering. I know Nate, but I couldn't think of any. Who else has gotten
maybe Jordan?
3.
Well, does the FanDuel show count?
I don't know. Does it?
Yeah, there we go. Matt, but you were part of an elite group of you're amongst elite company. If anything, it should make you feel better of the 3-time guests. Nate, Jordan, Steph. That's a pretty solid group right there.
I think so. Yeah.
And have you been on for a mock draft? Oh, Justin, have you been on for a mock draft Monday before?
I've been in them. This is the first time on it.
There we go. We are popping your on-stream mock draft Monday. You've never done it before.
Just stop talking.
JL started shaking his head and coming off right there. Guys, we got some people in the chat joining us. Craig's here. He says, okay. I am late to the comments, but here. Happy Monday, y'all. Semi-vacation for 2 weeks for me. Glad to hear it, Craig. Enjoy that time off, but it'll probably be a little bit less sleep-filled than maybe people expect.
He says he's late to the comments. He was in here half an hour early. I love you, Craig. You're the man.
Jordan wants to know, what color shirt do you guys think Josh is choosing between? I'm thinking blue and black. Josh, stand up. It's blue and black.
Listen, there's a little bit of blue, a little bit of black, a little bit of gray. You got it
all. Greenish, turquoise-ish.
Yeah, there's turquoise. That's turquoise, but the black is right.
It's bluish.
So
it's blue enough.
Yeah.
Jay Wall says, let's get it. Mock Monday with the best. And Craig's saying he will go with a skin tone someday. Josh is always wearing skin tone.
It's after the show, guys. After the show.
Yes.
And Jordan wants to know if I have olive oil on my chin. Let me check.
That was the last time, yeah.
Nope.
And he turns the mic on.
You were here during the olive oil show?
That was the oil show. Yeah, that was that one.
That was disgusting.
Part of a classic memory.
Oh, yeah.
Scott Fish is here. He's done saying first. He's got a new catchphrase. Scott Fish, I need a new backpack. That's his new catchphrase. And Jordan's being kind here, saying, do you want my high school JanSport? I think he might. Go ahead and send it over. Scott seems to really be struggling in need of a backpack there.
JanSports are so classic.
They are. Can't go wrong with JanSport.
Welcome in, Burner. He says, ahoy, chat. It's because he's the captain. The Jordans that get called the captain one time, and all of a sudden he's acting like a pirate in the chat. And Craig says he's going to have you swabbing the deck soon with that attitude, Jordan. Now, you guys better watch out now that Burner's been made captain. Anthony said, hey, I just met you. This is crazy. So here's my number. Call me maybe. Emphasis on the maybe, Anthony. Sorry, we'll get back to you on that. That is a
clever combination of words. Well done. Well
done.
Yeah.
Jay says you're one heck of a seaman, Jordan. Yeah, you know what? You are. You're doing a great job serving as a seaman under Captain Burner. But you better keep it up, or Burner's going to make you walk the plank. What's up, Kev? Welcome in. He said, bird up. And Anthony said, Matt is back. All right.
Yeah, it's been like a month and a half. I lost 12 pounds since that last showing. I'm a little bit slimmer Matt than this time.
We should weigh all of our guests.
No, we shouldn't.
You know what? Because I'm not going to stand on a scale on stream, so I'm not going to make any of our guests do that. I would rather jump into traffic than do
just
that.
Keep like a running log, huh? Game diffuse since the last time you were on.
You got the new.
Last time you were 190.
Got a little bit of extra guest today.
Yeah, Matt, the only thing I'm complaining about is we've got less Matt on the show today than we did the previous time.
Yeah. We also have less Jay. One time he'll show up. I don't know why he keeps ducking on me.
He says he can't live up to you on stream. He just needs to come on alone. Nick's in here, says sub JL, and says Simon, good to see you. Good to see you, Nick. Glad you're in here. And Jason, way to crush his dreams.
Why didn't he say hi to Josh?
My bad.
Josh gets left out on the hut. Oh,
he chooses like people to say hi to. He does.
Okay.
Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. We don't need to say.
Marco said, "Excuse me."
Marco also has been on the show 3 times.
Has he?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Oh, I am nowhere near as special as I thought I was. All right.
Because the water time, and then he came on when JJ came on. We did Quiplash, and there's definitely a third time.
JJ show?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get him on again.
JB, what's
What
up?
up,
He says,
Joshua?
"What's up, y'all?" And Z2 says, "Missed the draft today. Sad now. Damn. Next week. Craig said a 2-day-old is watching. Watch the language. Hey, I cut myself. I let it go. I didn't say it. And Joey says, "I finally got the Discord invite. Only had to pay Jay $35." Joey
That's a
brings up
good
point.
deal.
If you
Wait
guys
a
want in on
second.
the Discord, you don't have to pay Jay $35. We can throw the link in the chat and you can join. And that is the best way to make sure you get in on these mock drafts is to be in that Discord. And you will get in there early. Burner says there's a
Is Jay
Discord.
making money off all our people?
Yeah, Jay's been establishing a racket here. He's been racketing the money.
Scott wants to know
Taking
how
money
much is
from
too
everyone's
much to
Discord.
spend on a new backpack, considering it's what I use for luggage travel. My opinion is
Nothing.
that if you find one that you love, buy
Yeah,
it
get
no
it.
matter what it costs because
I
you're
am
going to
right
use
there
it
with you,
so
Simon.
much. It's one of those things. Backpacks and jeans. Spend
Yes.
whatever it
Yes.
costs to get them if you like them. Just do
Eh,
it.
And if you're buying a new bed and you have the money, get a decent
Yeah.
bed.
Get a
And
nice bed.
boots.
Tough to Needle is nice.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor, but very nice.
We should talk about this afterwards.
Jay's
I'll
in
go to Brandon
agreement with
after.
us. Says you can never spend too much on a good backpack. And Joey says, Scott, I recommend North Face. Never heard of it. Is
I
that like an indie
Nike
company or
myself.
something?
Oh,
And
Nike.
Joey said, I've had mine over 10 years, use it 4 days a week, and it is still solid. I
Mine's
recommend
getting disgusting.
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles glow up one that you can get at Walmart. It's really nice. I've been using it for 2 days. It's only got 1 tear in it, but it's really cool. And you
2
should be able to
days.
fit plenty. Yeah.
The same amount of time that Craig's daughter has been alive.
Yeah, I think she has the same backpack as me, actually.
Hopefully
Swamp,
no
what's
tears.
up? He said, who that? At
Who
work
dat?
and cry. Oh, damn. So we're missing Swamp again today. And JV says, I miss my old Jansport backpack. You know, it's
can't-
hard.
Everyone
to beat.
does. They're
Everyone
solid.
does.
They are so
Everyone
solid.
Swamp says he was MIA because he was at MechaCon this weekend.
So
an
was I.
anime convention.
Well, no, not there, but I was just MIA.
Oh, I thought it was like
That's awesome.
it sounded like robots. So we're going to be getting like some Evangelion stuff in here. Shout out
Yeah.
to whoever knows what I just said, what Evangelion is. So.
I didn't, but I like it.
Neon Gem. I know what Evangelion is.
Hey,
but we can,
Simon's the
we'll
only
have
cool
you
one.
on for the anime bracket. We'll kick Josh off and bring you on for the anime bracket.
I've been
Yeah,
watching
sure.
a lot of
Sure.
anime lately. I've been watching a lot of anime lately.
I've been trying to
like
start
in my
Neon
mindset.
Genesis, but I haven't.
It just looks so
If you want to be
old.
depressed, yeah, it's the best show to
It's,
go.
it's good to start. All right, I'll check it out then. I've been looking for something depressing lately.
It really is.
Scott Fish says I had a Tony Hawk bag for about 10
Yes.
years. Still haven't, don't use my current Swiss gear one has been about 20 years. You know what?
Swiss.
That Tony Hawk bag is
That's
That's
like my
cool.
whole life.
that's
Just,
awesome.
Yeah, 20
I've
years of
been-
my existence.
I've been reliving my Tony Hawk childhood recently too with the Switch game coming out, and I'm having so much fun. And I love Tony Hawk again. I love him. So if you can send me that backpack, Scott, and I'll send you the new one I just bought for travel. We'll
Ooh,
just trade.
swapsies.
Okay, guys, it is time to start the mock draft. But before we do that, I want to remind everyone watching, if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. It means a ton to us, and you can make sure you never miss another one of these videos again. You don't want to miss Matt's 4th appearance on the show because I know it's coming. What's
It's
up,
gonna be a good one.
Dan?
And
Welcome
I'm sure we'll
in.
play a game and I'll beat him. Sorry, I just.
I'm going to go ahead and start the mock if everybody is ready. I'm not mocking today, and then we can dig into some of the other comments that came in. We're getting going. In jail, you've got the first pick.
Who's it gonna pick? Oh, it's a Superflex Redraft League, right, guys? So
Superflex
this-
half
this pick-
PPR, right?
Yeah. So just for this year, that made me crack up when Scott said that.
Yeah, Scott, the backpack helpline is on at 5 p.m., but that's okay. We'll take some of
yes,
those questions in here.
Our backpack show.
Totally okay. And Joey says, we got your backpack, Scott. No worries. Dan says, I've been assigned a backpack help desk.
That made me laugh too when I read that. I forgot who said it in like 30 seconds.
What's up, Faith? Welcome in. Glad to have
What
you
up,
here.
Faith?
Hi, Faith.
If you've got any backpack recommendations, Scott Fish is taking them. So throw them in the chat for Scott Fish. He's looking for new backpack reps.
Go Nike Under Armour. You know, I like the athletic feel and look to backpacks. They work well for me. But it depends what you're looking for, right?
We've already got a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John Luke.
So say the thing is, Nike is better than Under Armour in every way. So you should probably just go with Nike.
Except Under Armour sponsors Jordan Spieth. So
and Under Armour's like located. Their headquarters is in Maryland, Baltimore.
It is.
Area,
I look at it every day, pretty much.
Hey, just so you guys know, I chose the 8th spot because I saw Matt was in here and he had the 9th spot, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna snipe his guys."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But wait a second, I do not know who to take here.
Oh,
I wish Lamar Jackson was there.
Marco says TMNT turtle shell backpack easy. Completely agree. And then Faith says, I like the Fjall Raven Konkin backpack. I think I nailed that. Just want everyone
I think
to
you
know.
did. Fjall Raven.
I think I absolutely nailed that. Jail, I was sitting here waiting for you to make a Dutch joke, even though that's clearly not Dutch, just waiting to say I only knew how to say that because I was Dutch. like I paused purposefully to let you get the joke in. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I was waiting for it. Okay, the first round is almost wrapping up. There was a couple picks I wanted to talk about. One of them was Derrick Henry at the 3 spot in a Superflex league. Now, this is redraft, and at first I was shocked, but I'm looking at it. There's a very real argument to be made that Derrick Henry is the top running back in redraft. You can say that and not be judged too harshly. I like in a redraft format, he could be the top running back. Now, ahead of some of these other quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. Do you guys have issue with where Derrick Henry went, or do you think that's a totally valid place to go at that 103 spot? Matt, I'll come to you first.
So he's actually the lowest of those like near elite or real elite running backs for me. He's actually my RB6. I'm a little bit of against the grain, I think, in terms of across the fantasy landscape. For me, an issue is I think too much of where he's going is based off he's being taken at his ceiling. I think he has really little in terms of receiving work. A guy's going to take 400 touches. My first literal article I wrote last year was talking about how worried I was for Christian McCaffrey off his big 2019 workload. If he was going to get hurt, if there's some risk going into 2020. I have that exact same sort of sentiment going in with Derrick Henry, and how him taking just absolute punishment all the time is a real issue.
Matt, you're on the clock, just so you know. I love what the points you're making. I just want you to make sure you get in your pick too.
You know what? I'm actually going to do something a little bit different here because I want to get 2 of my near elite or elite. No! Yeah. I'm actually going to do something different here. Yeah.
That's messed up. I was going to take him.
Scott wants everyone to know that an Under Armour athletic backpack looks different on a 41-year-old than a 25-ish-year-old. Josh,
no, impossible.
Josh,
I'm 29 and it looks great on me. But you're probably right. Yeah, get us something a little classier, I guess. Whatever.
I think I just stabbed Josh with
messenger
bag.
You screwed me up. I don't know what to do now. I'm like so lost. I have no idea who to pick.
Just like this, the inverse of what I just said with Henry Wilson, I'm considering right now in terms of what his ADP is for 1 quarterback leagues. I think the perfect quarterback pick because he's going the latest. Prescott's actually my QB2 right now. It will change depending on what the injury looks like. Currently, right now, he didn't get put on the PUP list, to my understanding. I like what that first few weeks of what Dallas did last year. I don't want to extrapolate for an entire season, but it really looks like they're really one of the more shoe-in teams to really kind of lead the league in total plays per game. Having, I think it was like 4 in the first 5 weeks, 80 plays in every, 4 of those first 5 games for me. That matters. Just touches, targets, pass attempts, just accumulation of stats. I like.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Dan over here saying Jay's contractually obligated to take Saquon, and it brings me into the next thing I wanted to talk about, and that's the running back heavy turn right here. These guys drafted at the 11 and 12, and Craig is starting with a running back duo of Chubb Elliott, and Jay starting with a running back duo of Taylor Saquon. It's about as solid as it gets. Josh, you're up there in conversation with Kamara Eckler as well. You've got the more known receiving backs in that mix, but I think what this is showing me is in a super flex league, if you're on that back end, there's serious value to be had on these running backs and wide receivers because of the quarterbacks going in the first 2 rounds. Absolutely. That turn is crazy to me. John Luke, what are you going to do here at the turn after you started Patty Mahomes?
He doesn't know.
I don't know.
I'm actually a little surprised at the amount of double QB teams, if that's fair.
Josh and I.
4 of them, it seems a lot.
Yeah, that does seem like a lot to start it out.
I am blown by it, Matt. I was thinking that same exact thing myself. I was a little surprised that you did it, but I don't hate it. When getting 2 top tier QBs in a Superflex league is going to be pretty solid. Typically, for me, I like to get 1 top tier QB, but the value you got, I can't argue against.
Yeah, because again, I didn't think that was going to be a trend. I thought the 2 QBs were going to be a little bit different, but seeing
created the trend.
Seeing 4 teams do it, I think it actually kind of worked out well for me because now I get to actually go pick up guys I thought I was going to miss on, and now all those guys kind of slide down a little bit.
Absolutely.
So I think even for the whole group, I think all me, Jordan, Eagle Dan, and JR1616 here all kind of doing the same idea, but also kind of get away with it a little bit. Interesting. It's an interesting start. I really like this.
Absolutely. And we see this a lot in Dynasty, right? Because like quarterback, they're locked in for like 10 years. You get it locked in. But I'm not saying it's a bad strategy for redraft. Quarterbacks are scoring by far the most points out of any position. And you don't have to start 2 of them, but you should start 2 of them. And you got 2 absolute studs in there. It's awesome.
Yeah, I like it. I like a lot of these teams, actually.
I think Matt, you got the second quarterback I would have wanted through those first 2 rounds. Like after Russell Wilson, the Jordan, Dan, JR, I don't think I would have taken those quarterbacks if I was them. But the Russell Wilson pick is probably where I draw that line of like, okay, early round, elite quarterback, regardless of what my first pick was. So out of the 2 quarterback teams, I like yours the best so far. I think I would have gone a different direction if I was the other teams. But again, different ways of building teams, different preferences. That's how I look at it. John Luke, you went 1 quarterback. You're not one of these double quarterback teams. And then you followed up with Joe Mixon and Devontae Adams. Are you rising on Mixon a bit, or just the last running back you're comfortable with in a bunch?
I feel like I've been high on Mixon this offseason. I think he's got a great opportunity this season. I think
you and me both, buddy.
Yeah, no, Josh and I have just been espousing the Joe Mixon love this offseason. So yeah, he's sort of like the end of a tier for me at running back here.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Aaron Jones in that tier.
That's what I was going to ask.
He would probably be in that tier as well. You're right.
But in the tier. So I'm with you, I kind of hated how this draft went. I chose Austin Eckler, and I expected to be a running back run. And when I got to my pick, I was upset to see the running back. Najee Harris was there. And so I was just like, I don't like how this draft is falling for me, but I like my team. So we'll see how it turns out. I like the Z2 over here. He's like drafting with me, apparently.
Yeah, you guys are drafting together psychologically.
Josh and I made another excellent pick.
No, we're killing it. He's texting me, and we're just working together.
Jordan brings up a good point. Says Aaron Rodgers, Simon, with the news that he's likely playing for Green Bay this year. I think he's actually still a tier below that top tier. I think that tier still ends with Russell Wilson for me. And that's not Aaron Rodgers yet. I was very high on him last year, but part of the reason I was so high is the value you were getting on him. Coming off like an MVP caliber season, I don't think we can expect that again. It was an outlier based on his recent seasons. That's not to say he's not going to be great, but I view him as a top 10 guy, not as a potential top 5 guy, which is all the quarterbacks taken there ahead of him. I see as like potential top 5 guys.
Every time I look in the chat, Scott is still talking about bags. He's hijacked the chat, so it's just straight bag chat.
No, Maggie! I thought I was going to be sniping you.
No, there's no way. Come on. With Wilson, I had to get the sack. Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to do it. I really just wanted one of these 4 receivers here. I really wanted Calvin Ridley or DK Metcalf. I'm okay with Justin Jefferson. I'm also okay with this guy McGowan draft, but I would have preferred one of those other guys.
The fun part is, again, Josh specifically picked this spot because he wanted to snipe me, and apparently
I haven't done it at all, and I've gotten sniped twice.
You just keep getting sniped by Matt. That's awesome. Kyle Pitts by Dan. There it is in the 4th round in redraft. I know we've talked about this ad nauseum, so Matt, I'll come to you. How do you feel about Kyle Pitts in redraft this year?
So it's funny. I'm actually going to be talking about it, tight ends as a whole, I believe this Sunday for Gridiron ratings, but the issue is The secondary group of tight ends, I think, is getting pushed up again. We're going to possibly have 6 tight ends within the first 50 picks in 1 QB leagues.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a little worried that the second group is continuing to be brought up by the first because they're trying to get a little taste of what Waller, Kittle, and Kelsey.
Yes.
Kittle going 2 picks before Pitts makes Kittle an amazing pick. It makes Pitts, to me, not as good as a selection. I do have Andrews and Pitts ahead of Hawkinson. I've been changing around my viewpoints on that whole group, but it's tough. And we've seen in back-to-back years, I think almost half of the top 12 busts at tight end. I have the numbers. I have to dig through it, but it's like 40-something%. They either bust completely, or they're just not even top 12 tight ends. Like it's a real issue. I understand the first 3. The next 3 is where I get very skittish. So that's just a personal take for me. In a 1 QB league, I'm probably taking like the quarterbacks in those first 50 picks before I start taking the 4, 5, 6 tight end, whatever it is.
How do you rank those tight ends, if you don't mind me asking?
My current ranks for them are
after the big 3, I'm guessing.
Andrews, Pitts, Hawkinson.
Okay.
Andrews, Pitts, Hawkinson. Okay.
Wow, Hawkinson 6th or 3rd on that out of those 3. Because I agree, it's obviously a tier 3 tight ends with Kittle. Well, Kittle, I mean, Kelsey kind of separates himself, and maybe he's in his own tier. And then there's Darren Waller and Kittle, and then there's Pitts, Hawkinson, and Andrews, and it just
got you, guy, JL.
I kind of reversed that order for myself.
I do as well. Exact opposite.
Jordan thinks I hate Dan's team, and that's incorrect. I don't hate his team.
Just say you don't like Dan's team.
I'm a little worried that we're doing something we've seen go wrong for 2 years in a row again, and that's where I start getting a little worried about it. When I believe there's no premium setting in this format we're doing for this mock draft. One thing I'll say about Kelsey, I want to be a little bit contrarian for 1 second because I do have him in the first round. To 2 questions. 1, how many running backs are you currently ranking ahead of Kelsey in the first round? In a normal,
about this going into
that's the thing. And the second is Kelsey's going to be 32 in October. Does that matter? Because that's not something I've seen talked about when we typically don't want to talk about players who are past a certain age. I know he's been the tight end 1 for like 5 years straight, but I at least think there's some sort of inkling to talk about that. Maybe not a huge hit against him, but he hasn't been hurt and he's been so consistently good. Where's the drop off? Is it this year?
I think you summed it up point to bring up.
Yeah,
but I am going to draft Kelsey as if he's going to continue doing what he's doing until he doesn't, or until we see a sign that he's not going to. Like if last year we had seen any sign of slowing down, I would adjust how I'm drafting him based on that age. But I saw nothing last year to show that he's near that cliff. But we've seen it before. It can happen fast. It can come so quick and just take him down. That's something I'm willing to just accept that risk on because that risk does exist. But I don't blame people for factoring that into how they view Kelsey and maybe taking a Waller or a Kittle ahead of him. But for me, I'm just going to go based off what I've seen, and what I've seen is that Kelsey's still at the top of his game. I'm still taking him as my dynasty tight end 1, not just redraft. Even if it's only for 2-3 more years.
I was a little bit hoping that Cooper got to me because I've been really fun if I got the double stack. That would have just been really just delicious. That is the appropriate word for it.
I was going to say you can grab some CeeDee Lamb, but you cannot. How do you guys feel about CeeDee Lamb going ahead of Amari Cooper in redraft? Who are you drafting first in a redraft league? CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper? You can only have one.
Well, with the news of Amari Cooper, I lead in CeeDee Lamb now.
Yeah.
If Amari Cooper's good to go for the start of the season, I do lean Amari Cooper. I would definitely draft him ahead of CeeDee Lamb in a redraft league, but in Dynasty League, everything changes. I'm going CeeDee Lamb all day.
I do have a question for you guys. I know I'm on the clock here with 30 seconds, so let me just get in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say I have DeAndre Swift here, right? Technically, TJ Hawkinson is my tight end 6, but then I would have 2 Lions here with a team that I think is going to be a little bit in trouble scoring week to week. Would you still go with DeAndre Swift and Hawkinson and not care about any of that sort of situation playing out at all?
If Hawkinson's your best player available, then it's Hawkinson in my mind.
It's Woods for me, but I was just trying to think of what your guys' viewpoint would be because it's taking 2 players in your first 5 rounds from the same team. I don't like that from a roster construction standpoint, but considering, tight end is what it is. I want to see if you guys really were, going to shy away from that or not.
Especially with the tight end, I have no issues with pulling that stack. Maybe if it was like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett as your wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, or Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, I would probably try to limit that. Like those are going to be directly eating into each other. Tight end is such a hellscape navigating after these first couple guys. I'm not going to discount a tight end that I view like a full tier above. And really, I feel like there's tier 1, tier 2, and then tier 5 whenever it comes to tight end. Tiers 4 are empty. I'm not going to take that giant fall in value at that position. If we're just talking that position, just because I have another player from the team. That's specifically for tight end though in my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think
we'll see what Joey's doing.
I almost kind of want him. He has Kelsey, so I kind of took the risk of, okay, at least I think one guy is not going to take the tight end. But it is definitely something I was considering. If Hawkinson comes here, I'm taking Hawkinson. So just letting you know, Joe.
Scott wants to know who is drafting from the 12. The logo's blogging it for me. Well, we took care of that. I think JL knocked it off. And he's a G-Men J. Jay is drafting back there.
Also, to address Scott's previous comment about the team never checks a bag, I'm part of that team.
As a
love the backpack and duffel maneuver. It is perfect. Southwest accommodates perfectly.
My girlfriend and I purposefully, when going to Mexico, didn't even bring duffel bags because we knew we were going to buy things we wanted to bring back. So we purposely only packed in backpacks, then bought 2 duffel bags while we were there to fill with the shit we bought and brought those back as our carry-on. Like we overplanned ahead to make sure we wouldn't even have to check on the way home. I hate checking bags.
It's the worst.
I've had 8 days worth of stuff into a backpack with all my other stuff just so that I could bring a duffel bag home. JB says we need to bring fanny packs back. My girlfriend's trying. She loves them. She wears it all the time.
Couple of my friends are really trying to bring back the movement. Simon knows Sal. He's definitely trying to bring it back.
I know Sal too.
Yeah, Josh knows Sal as well.
Yeah.
Scott says
he showed up for some of the intramural softball games.
Yep.
We had, right?
Yeah.
Scott says you can put the logo back up. I prefer the FYI logo to G-Man J's name.
Don't show the next one. That's his joke.
Ouch, Scott.
Ouch. Scott, ouch.
Joey's telling Scott he is going to Canton for sure. So you guys will show up with nothing but a backpack. If you have any other bags,
no underwear.
No underwear. Backpacks only. It's our new website called Backpacks Only. Josh is the only creator on it.
Oh, but he's got the strap across the two shoulder straps. He's got the buckle.
It's the one with the buckle in the middle. Just
but his nips on either side. That's disgusting, Josh.
Sorry, you know how I am. You know what I
dirty
like.
Boy.
You know what I'm
into.
It's an Under Armour. It's an Under Armour kind of weekend, boys. Flip.
Hey, unbuckle me, bro. Unbuckle me real quick.
Stick your hand in my pocket. No, back pocket.
I hate you guys.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna pee myself.
He's getting bullied.
He's used to it.
I love it. I love these guys.
Scott says fanny packs, duffels, backpacks, messenger bags. We are nearing tiers or brackets territory.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, I like this too. Let's go. I'm a duffel bag guy for work. I've gotten so many compliments on my duffel bag. I almost want to grab it and show you guys.
Stop it, Josh. Josh, settle down.
Jordan said, Josh looks like the dude that tells everybody he's hitting a home run but pops up to second every single time.
No. I am not a home run guy at all. I am a singles guy. I get on base and I run those bases, you know? But yeah, I pop up all the time. I'm not very good.
That has to be Josh's new Twitter profile pic. Yeah, we'll make it happen. Scott said that made me cackle. And Burner says, "Where do I sub?" We'll send the link out in the Discord later, so make sure you get in there. So
I can't make this pic.
And she said, "Why is there a hole in that pocket?"
No.
Burner said, I mean what I said. Send the link.
All right. We got you.
Where do coin purses fall on the scale? Well, if you are packing real light, if all you're bringing is a coin purse, Joey. I don't know. I don't want to know what you're wearing in Canton if that's all you're bringing.
Little baby socks.
What is going on in the stream?
Like maybe some real, like a real scanty outfit you could fit inside a coin purse, Joey. But
Whew, this is one
How
of the
funny would it be if you
hardest
tried to like check a coin purse? Like you bring it to like the checked bag counter and you just have like a little coin purse.
Just deadpan the whole time. Just, are you sure? You can just put this in your pocket. No. Put it on the scale, sir.
Better safe than sorry is what I always say.
You guys.
Do you have one of those stickers?
Scott says I need video clips of people complimenting Josh's duffel bag.
I've had two
He says,
people
"Let me
buy
go
the
grab
same
it."
duffel bag, all right?
Scott, goal accomplished. You made everyone talk about backpacks. You win.
I think I'm trying to like keep track of like who's being taken. I'm like, all right, strategize by my next pick, and I'm like,
I know.
chaos. There's chaos on the right side of my screen.
Matt, people always say it's
God.
much harder to mock draft on stream with us than it is like from the chat.
Is
Like
it-
you come on, you don't
Try
realize the
talking
element.
backpacks while
This is why my
drafting.
teams have been so good, just joining and not even paying attention to what's being said. Now I'm like, oh, cool. Who's left at running back? Oh, no one. Awesome. But we talk a hell about backpacks.
Jay Wilson, JL's laugh is greater than everything. And you know, when you get a good hearty chuckle out of JL, like very few things feel better. Okay, Jay.
Josh's duffel feels better.
It's a nice smooth leather coin purse. Yes, Jay, indeed it is.
This is nice smooth leather. Smooth gooch leather.
Josh, we saved that for Quiplash Fridays. Josh, I was going to ask you. You waited until the 7th round to draft a quarterback. Jay did as well.
Yes.
So a team drafting right in front of you. How are you feeling about that strategy thus far in a Superflex league?
Just fine. I want to see what my second quarterback looks like. And it might be this next pick. It might not be. I feel like there's still depth at quarterback, so I'm not that concerned about it. I like it in Tua as I don't love him as my quarterback 1. Don't get me wrong. He probably deserves to be a quarterback 2 more than likely in a Superflex league, but I expect Tua to have a breakout season more or less. I really do. I think he has the right weapons. I think he's going to run more this season. I think he's finally actually healthy. So Tua to the moon.
The last
Tua to
part
the
I think
moon.
is important.
To the moon.
Healthy. Yeah, the hip. Deshaun Watson, I was debating between Deshaun Watson and Tua. I didn't want to make Deshaun Watson my quarterback 1, though.
I was going to say, as your first quarterback, that's definitely a little risky. I think
Yeah.
Craig had some more leeway with Baker already on the team to
Yeah.
grab Deshaun as that QB2.
Yeah.
Are you guys? So 2 things. I wanted to go back to Rodgers, is what that reminded me of. With that news, are you fully expecting? Are you fully
Sorry.
expecting him to play? And are you expecting Devontae Adams to play now that it's been worded? I know there was news saying that he hasn't signed a long-term contract either and wasn't showing up to things. But does the new news make you more comfortable with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams?
Well, for me,
yeah.
I don't know who you're asking, but yeah. For me, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams was always going to play. I don't think that was ever a question in my mind. I think he'll play. He's still on contract for this year. It's just long-term. He's out in my mind. Could he still get traded or whatever in the offseason? It's possible. And with the reports of Aaron Rodgers, family members and everything saying that he is going to be playing this year, I kind of lean that way now. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play.
I agree. And I've been thinking, like, you take the path of least resistance with news like this all the time, and the path of least resistance was that Aaron Rodgers was going to play for the Packers. That doesn't mean that other options can't happen, but it's the exception, not the rule. Whenever stuff like Tom Brady to the Bucs happens, like those kinds of trades, that would have been a wild 2 off seasons in a row to see 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time switch franchises. Not saying it couldn't happen, but just take the path of least resistance with a lot of this news. If you have to assume an outcome, that doesn't mean don't bake it into your rankings, like the risk involved, but generally they're going to follow whatever the most likely outcome is. A little bit of a wide receiver on Michael Thomas here in the 8th round after the likes of Laviska Shenault and Odell Beckham Jr. Josh, so you drafted OBJ ahead of Michael Thomas. I just want, do you think that OBJ will have a better fantasy season than Michael Thomas? I'm guessing that's why you drafted him ahead of him, or are there just more change factors with the Saints, and you're not willing to take that risk?
I'm really concerned about Michael Thomas' start to the season. Uberly concerned. I'm not saying this is too early, but I don't know. Is he even going to play the first half of the season? You're going to waste a roster spot the first half of the season on Michael Thomas. Yeah, I want him if he's playing the second half of the season, but how's that going to even look, right? I think he'll be fine, but look at what he did last year when he was kind of injured and he came back. It wasn't great. Odell Beckham, if he's able to stay healthy, he has injury concerns himself. He's healthy right now, though, and if he's able to stay healthy, I think he's going to be a top 24 receiver by the end of the year. I really do. I mean, it's hard to argue against that. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. And Z2 makes a great point, though. With the way Jordan's team is being built, that pick makes a little bit more sense than if it was his wide receiver 2 or 3. As a wide receiver,
only starting 2 receivers in this league, by the way.
Plus 1 flex, right? So that's what this is his 4th receiver.
3 flexes, actually.
Gotcha.
2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 3 flex.
And I'm guessing one of those flex is super flex.
Yes. Well, no.
Cool.
3 flex and a super flex.
Yeah, it's
well, damn. Jay set up a deep league with
and I think it's really more too. So with Jordan having as a wide receiver 4, I think Thomas is just going to be a roster construction pick. I looked at how many receivers were going before round 10 in a the standard 1 QB 12 team league. It's like around 45 or so by round 10. And that's where I actually consider him in those sort of formats. Here, with being your wide receiver 4 for Jordan, it's a different path to go on. So like if he would be for me, my wide receiver 3, I'm not risking that right now. I think he wasn't an option for me to take. I think optimistically right now, right? Week 6 is the bye, and then week 7, Monday Night Football, it's October 25th. Let's say that's the earliest, right? So that's week 7. Missing 6, you don't have him for month and a half, all that. But if the one insult used against him all the time is that he's the slant boy. And if you're going to have routes if you have routes that have him cutting and taking hard plants and be able to change direction with pace, I can't really think of a player who would more need a healthy ankle for what they're going to be really bringing to the table than Thomas. It's a roster construction decision for Jordan, so it works out. For the regular everyday person, I think he's a dramatic risk that it's a little bit different here. We're having a lot of smart people, 12 rounds only to draft in this one, so it's a little bit different situation. I think round 10 is probably the earliest I'm considering him. And then even at that point, it's a possibility that it might just be, 8, 9, 10 weeks sort of deal. And it's not like Antonio Brown last year where he missed 8 games with suspension. He has to come back, and then there's still, real risk of him coming back for a week and then being out for another 3. And I don't know,
not being ready to play, coming back at 80% instead of 100%.
And that's where I come down to, okay, maybe I can't recommend him to most people, right? It's just, your average person, if they're setting up their team, they don't really know what's going on. I think that has to really be brought into account. So in this sort of situation, yes, there's a lot of upside with Thomas. I don't know about for your normal listener how easily they can make a successful roster, because you got to think about weekly decisions, and you're already down a player automatically you drafted within your first X amount of rounds, and as a starter potentially for some people,
and for at least a couple of weeks, for sure.
Yeah,
and we don't know the extent of it. JL, you said his name, and Smooth as Gooch showed up and said, JL, I told you to keep my name out of your mouth. What are you doing?
Apologies, Mr. G. My apologies, Mr. G.
Mr. G. And then JB says, Bakatari tweeted and cast some doubt that Rodgers is really playing for sure. But Scott says, I think DB was just stirring the pot, just trying to drum up some additional news out of it. Burner wants to know what's everybody's stance on satchels, like a nice crossbody, one shoulder strap satchel.
You have to find out.
And Scott did say, Scott said, Burner, you have to wait for bag brackets for the answer to that.
Yeah, Jay, I will say that to the list.
I am team men can carry bags because it's baloney that only girls get purses. Like, I'm only allowed to carry what fits in my pockets, but it's acceptable for a girl to carry a bag around with her things. No, if I want a bag, I can carry a bag, damn it.
Oh, my.
That's just my 2 cents. Bag brackets is going to get lit.
Jay, I'm sorry. I interrupted, but I love Z2 just keeps coming in. Man, our team, we are putting together. We're talking on the back end somehow.
I love that he's kept it up the whole time.
Yeah, it's just
I got one question now. So, sometimes, it's a thing to make tweets about player. What? It's a good pick. Sorry, David Harris.
I wanted Damian Harris.
Don't be calling me.
This is seriously messed up.
The guy I want to talk about is Anderson. So you took DJ Moore in round 5.
I would have taken Anderson there if I didn't have DJ Moore in my previous pick. That's
so
Matt.
I actually have both as between wide receiver 21 for Moore and 28 for Anderson. I'm actually a little more optimistic than I think the general people is on what Anderson's going to be, because they changed what we thought their mindset was for Anderson and Moore going into 2020. Anderson was no longer like the deep one route kind of guy. It was Moore who was really the higher on like terms of yards per reception, all that stuff. So that was actually a question I think the first time I was on this show was what was their average yards per reception. It was like Moore was one of the highest in the league. Chase Edmonds and James Conner's one, but this is another situation where I don't know why Moore and Anderson, to me, it has such a large round discrepancy between them. I wanted to see what your guys' thoughts on those guys are.
I agree.
That's
one of those
ones.
I'm honest. I keep getting sniped. All right,
Matt. That's one of those ones that's on the list of situations I need to dig more into, because my immediate reaction is that DJ Moore is the wide receiver 1 on that team, and it's not a 1A, 1B. But like you said, there was changing factors in how they were used last year, and it might take some revisiting. I was on the train that people overreacted to Robbie Anderson's beginning of the season last year, and aren't paying enough attention to how it broke down at the end of the season. DJ Moore getting a lot more of the attention, being used more how we thought he would. But that being said, now I've bought fully into that narrative. I should probably another step back and look at the season as a whole for how these two players are used. As of right now, I am definitely drafting Moore ahead of Anderson, but you bring up a good point. It could be a lot closer than I'm giving it credit for. I haven't dove enough into that situation to say that it's not.
Yeah, because this is another one. So Connor goes here, 10.2, and I took Edmonds at 7.9. I like Edmonds more on a pure points basis, and I needed him as my RB2. I wouldn't like Connor as my RB2, and I like Edmonds. I'm fine with Edmonds as my RB2, considering where the other way I constructed my team. But Connor is another one where I think the one issue that people, yes, Connor is more fragile than Drake ever was going to be. But the one thing that Connor brings to the table that Drake was never going to really compete in is receptions. He can be a receiving back, on pace in the 3 years that he played for like around 50 catches each one of those years. Getting to 50 receptions matters. So like David Montgomery, I still think is like one of those guys where I love what he can be as a runner. But I think people are still overselling him as a complete player when 55 receptions is a lot. And Montgomery is not someone I could see, doing that. But Connor is someone with Edmonds who has had to, we had him as like defined roles: Drake running and Edmonds receiving. Does Connor mix more into what that whole bag was supposed to be for Edmonds? Again, Edmonds over Connor, pure points. But it's another situation where it's a little strange that there's such a large discrepancy in the rounds for these guys.
I'm 100% on board with that one. Connor is probably going to be he might be one of my most rostered players in redraft this coming season, just because of the value you can get on him. And I completely agree. I don't think the separation between Connor and Edmonds is 4 rounds or 3 rounds, whatever it is, whenever it comes to points. Connor is going to be involved. We saw what happened whenever they gave Chase Edmonds the full workload, and it's not good. He's better as that change of pace back, coming in, receiving work. They're going to use Connor probably a bit on the goal line as that bruising back. And like you said, he has the pass catching capabilities. I'll take James Conner at his ADP over Chase Edmonds at his ADP.
Which really saved him at times. Being able to receive was actually what made Connor even somewhat viable, because at times he was not a particularly good runner. Now that offensive line might have played into it. Was Connor not talented enough to do so? Which kind of brings into the question about Najee Harris over there. Was it the running backs who were the issue for Pittsburgh, or was it the offensive line who lost pieces in the offseason? So what is the real thing to target at for Pittsburgh, what it means to Connor now going to a different team and Najee Harris filling that role there now? So a lot of question marks, I think.
Absolutely. And Jordan, our resident Panthers fan, coming in with a little bit more insight on the Moore Anderson situation, saying Joe Brady came over from LSU. Anderson got the Justin Jefferson role, and DJ Moore got the Jamar Chase role. Just kind of some analogs there. And yeah, I think that fits with what we saw 100%. Lines up with what we saw from LSU and what we saw from the Panthers last year. We'll see if that continues going on. Scott Fish in here says, can't wait to see Simon carrying a clutch in Canton. Bedazzled FYF host with the most. I do like a little bit of bling, Scott. So you got that right. A little bit of sparkles never hurt anybody. We're getting into our last 2 rounds. Swamps on the clock. JL, you just took Corey Davis. I've been seeing chatter pick up about him. Do you think there's any chance he's the wide receiver 1 on his new team next year? Or what are you expecting from Corey Davis with the pick in the back half of this draft?
Yeah, I think he's a great late round target. He doesn't have a ton of competition there. You got Elijah Moore. He's a rookie wide receiver, so we have to temper expectations. And I mean, it's really going to depend on Zach Wilson, how well Zach Wilson does in his rookie year. But I think that as far as late round targets go, you're not going to find a guy with that sort of upside. And Corey Davis did really well last season. He had a lot of targets in Tennessee, and I think that he could potentially command those targets in New York.
He was one of the top rated, I think a top 10 rated Pro Football Focus wide receiver last year.
Yeah.
And say what you will about Pro Football Focus, but
yeah.
It's impressive.
It is. Yeah. It is.
And Joshua, you said, I feel like lines up perfectly with what JL said. He showed last year he can be a good receiver. It's going to come down to what can Zach Wilson do in that offense. Is the offense going to be good enough to support a receiver like Corey Davis? And will he be the one over the talented rookies and sophomore wide receivers on that team? Completely agree. There's a lot of those late round guys that are fun to get, but Corey Davis, I think, is one of the higher upside ones. It really just comes down to that offense. Joey says Bedazzled Clutch equals great fantasy name.
Love it.
And then says Heath Cummings named one of his fantasy baseball teams Fancy Triangle Sandwiches, and it's still the best name I've ever heard.
We should ask him about it on Wednesday.
Yeah, on Wednesday he'll be here.
And Burner says Bedazzled Coin Purse is the better fantasy team name. Get your clutch out of here.
And I'm sorry, guys. I'm so excited for Heath Cummings to come on the show. I'm a Heath Cummings fan. I'm a big Heath Cummings fan. So
are we going to get fangirl Josh again?
I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try not to
do it.
I definitely felt that. I was with Dave Kluge and Heath Cummings just a few weeks ago. Dave's like, who would you like to, chat with in a sense? And I was like, well, the guys who got me into doing all this was the CBS guys. I try to model myself around what they do. So being able to sit down and talk with Heath Cummings and accidentally say that Adam Troutman is going to be like George Kittle was really fun. So because my thought process was, I like what he could possibly do after the catch, and I like his range of kind of like able to bring a random pass in. I think he has a good range of motion. I think he has like a high agility score out of his rookie, crap combine, whatever nonsense. I was like, all right, Kittle brings extra factors in terms of what his athleticism could be. So that was my idea about, okay, he can be like George Kittle. But when you say, oh, one of the best tight ends, in football right now is going to be this guy who's going to fill in a role for the Saints, and that offense might be terrible now with Thomas out. So that was it was fun to embarrass myself in one of my technical idols. So that was good.
Matt, I just want to say I would not take that as embarrassing. I hear what you're saying, but I don't think the comparison you made is that ridiculous. You weren't calling for Troutman to be Kittle, and I think all the arguments you made back it up. But I'm also a huge Adam Troutman fan. I love him, and I love the situation. Like I don't know if there could be a better situation for Troutman with Cook leaving down there.
Adam Schefter just tweeted, Packers are offering concessions and are close to an agreement that would bring Aaron Rodgers back to Green Bay for at least this season. Sources tell ESPN. Deal is not done, but it is.
Ooh, nice. J.O.
Number 1 overall, Aaron Rodgers. Scott Fish says the CBS guys are the absolute best. I have so many stories. Met pretty much all of them in person multiple times.
Well,
they're awesome.
We met Jamie Eisenberg and Adam Mazer when we met Scott Fish.
We did. The first time we met Scott Fish. That was a very intimidating conversation to walk up to.
Scott was intimidating too. My first show I came back this year. Yeah, it was the first show I came back this year. So I take 7-8 months away from the community and doing content, and I go on to guest spot, and then appears a Scott Fish, and I was like,
was that with Gladys and with Gladys Kluge?
Yep.
That was I loved watching that. Your face was just like, what the hell, Scott's here? That was.
What do I do with my hands? That
was awesome. That was when Scott was on his stream crashing tour. It was like a couple days in a row where he was just like crashing streams, and I loved watching it. Jordan says, I knew Jay was taking Everett, and all that talk about Troutman. Dan had to get in on it. He drafted some Troutman. And Jordan said the wide receiver core I've drafted is the best group I've ever mocked. So he's got DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Tyler Lockett, Michael Thomas, DJ Chark, and Will Fuller. Man, well, you know what? If that's the best wide receiver group you've ever mocked, I can tell you've never drafted a 0 RB team in a mock draft. That's a solid wide receiver core, but
that's actually really funny.
That's what I take from that sentence,
right.
Jordan.
He's right. Simon's right.
Bernie says, "Are you that excited? Are you that excited about every guest coming on? Like IDK the next 10 days or so?"
Yeah, super excited for everyone. Super.
Everyone except for one, but I can't remember who that one is. There's one person coming on that I'm not excited
in
for.
8 or 9 days or something, I'm assuming, you know.
It rhymes with burner of moan, but I can't.
Sterner of moan.
Burner of moan.
Sterner of bone.
Murner of bone. Z2 says Hollywood Brown to cop off the amazing draft. Where's our trophy?
Let's go. Me and Z2 all day, best team in this league, no doubt. Hey.
I will say this. I do actually want to commend your team for a second, Josh. You never sniped me on anything. I'll say that. But I think you actually
sniped me like 4 times. I
think in a Superflex league, I think you went and actually nailed quarterback in terms of getting the back end guys that no one's going to really be excited about. So Tua, Carr, and Darnold are going to be guys that for some reason kind of always. If it was kind of hate Tua, obviously we don't even know enough about him yet. Darnold, if there's I think a team and a coaching staff who can change it around, you already have enough weapons there in Carolina. Why can't Darnold get out of Gase's system and be successful like literally everyone else has? And Derek Carr is going to be another team. You know, it's a very sneaky, like top 10 overall scoring offense. That I think Vegas is not really going to. You know, Carr I think is going to be very. Good floor for you. I don't think you're going to see many 27, 8, 9, 30 points, but I think like 22 in Superflex, you know, you want advantage. So that's the thing. Try and get advantages, right?
That's what I'm looking for, especially going late. I wanted to make sure my guys were going to be starters as well, you know?
Yeah. Like you know, Trey Lance and Fields, these are guys who could be really exciting and really be if they were to start right this second. Trey Lance was starting right this second.
Oh my God, he's up there with all the other guys. First top three rounds.
Yeah. So I think you actually nailed that. And I think Russell Gage is a player that is still not being ranked appropriately. I actually have in my mid-30s. As of currently, unless anything changes with Atlanta, I'm expecting him to slot in as their second wide receiver. Now, I know Kyle Pitts is going to dominate so much of what the talking is over there for Atlanta, but to me, it's not necessarily there. He's still a tight end and going to line up and act like a tight end. So Gage, I know it was a little bit different. We then weren't super excited about what went out of him, but I think he has a good path to seeing around 100 targets. I actually really like both of your late pickup receivers for sure.
Thank you, Matt. I love you. I love you for that.
I had a question for you guys. I know there's a lot of dynasty being played. We love guys like Lawrence and Fields and Wilson, these rookies that are getting drafted high up. But as we know, like historically, rookie quarterbacks don't come out and put up QB1 seasons. It doesn't happen all that often. It's a bit more of an anomaly whenever it does happen. We have seen it more recently, but in my eyes in redraft, there's a very real chance that quarterbacks like Derek Carr finish ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Like, even though Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 overall pick, yet we're drafting Trevor in the end of the 3rd round here compared to Derek Carr down here. Where did you get him in the 9th round? Like, I think that's not just a possibility, but a somewhat likely possibility that a bona fide starter with NFL experience, a good one like Derek Carr, outscores all of these rookie quarterbacks, every single one of them.
Now, if you hit on Trevor Lawrence and he just lights it up this season, oh my God, that's well worth the pick. Like, the upside is there, no doubt in my mind. Derek Carr doesn't have that upside, but hey, he played at MVP level not that long ago. So Derek Carr's a good receiver.
I like what Fish is saying. I think we just run this one back. We do a second mock.
Let's go.
I will say the flip of it. What JL actually did at quarterback, I will commend. So we just had one situation where a team went really late with quarterbacks, like
really
you did,
ballsy,
Josh.
Going Patrick Mahomes #1 there.
So,
yes, I know.
Since he has currently, the locked in, for most people, why QB1 could be a few people mixed in, but that's the average QB1 and should be taken as so.
Absolutely.
Fields and Wentz, there's a chance that JL actually has the best quarterback group of this entire draft. Wentz, we just saw Phillip Rivers, as disgusting his throw angles could be at times and how unexciting he might be. Carson Wentz actually has, the ability to run for 350 yards, can have the 4,000 plus yards like they did last year. Rivers was top 10 in passing yards. I think there's a lot to actually get out of this Indianapolis offense. So Wentz to just fulfill the role and maybe even be a top 12 quarterback. And if Justin Fields takes over and is as exciting as we think he might be, the schedule is a little tough for Chicago. I will at least admit to that. But if Fields takes over sooner than later, John Luke has the best QB core we could possibly see in this league. So I think it's kind of, you can actually do different things. I even went 2 quarterbacks my first 2 picks, and I can have a great, amazing 2 quarterbacks, or I can have a terrible one. But I think you saw 3 different quarterbacks, angles, which was actually really, I think we actually kind of did, I think, perfectly for everyone to see different ideas of what quarterback and Superflex could be. Me going first 2 picks, which is something I don't almost ever do. JL going, really have, overall first number 1 pick Mahomes, and then backfill with really high upside guys, because I think Wentz is a high upside guy and Fields obviously what he could be. And then you going with late picks that are going to be almost surefire for 20 points. I think this was an excellent draft in terms of helping people out. So I think we did a good job there.
Yeah,
I had a great
completely agree with that.
And we didn't even get into your team, but like your team too.
Craig wants to know the thoughts on the team the 2-day-old drafted. Craig, we'll make sure to mention her team in the mock draft review, so make sure she checks that out.
It was solid. It's solid.
But yeah, we'll keep the language nice. We won't go too hard on that team, but got some work to do. I'm just kidding. It looked pretty good so far. Joey said, Matt and Craig sniped me so much. I felt like William Dafoe in Platoon, and Craig is apologizing. And Jay said, Craig, your 2-day-old sniped me a few times. Yeah, just coming out the womb sniping and drafts like that. That's awesome. Z2 said, I missed the mock, but felt like I didn't really miss the mock. Yeah, you and Josh.
We killed it, Z2. What are you talking about? You missed it. We were here the whole time. We were drafting the whole time. We killed it. Let's go. Matt
Jay says, I'm digging the polo to the. Is it a polo if it buttons all the way down? That's just like a short.
No, that's a button down,
right?
Yeah, that's a button down.
Get your terminology right, Jay. Get out of here. Okay, guys. Matt, I want to thank you so much for coming on again with us and drafting. Glad to have you on for Mock Draft Monday. Guys, if you do not follow Matt, go do that right now. He's on Twitter at Methodical1. He gives out great fantasy advice, and he's very real and open about what he's doing, what he's going through, thoughts he's having. You feel like you're getting a glimpse into Matt. Like the Matt I see on your Twitter is the Matt I see on this stream right here.
Same person.
So one of my favorite follows. Absolutely.
Matt is awesome.
And check out his work with Gridiron Ratings. He's the redraft guru. Loves talking redraft, loves diving into redraft. So if you've got redraft questions, he's the guy. Maybe not to blow up his inbox. Sorry, I didn't mean to open that invitation, but he's the guy to follow for sure. Everyone with redraft questions, send them all to Matt right now via DMs. Let's get them 500 unread messages.
Yeah, I learned how to open them up. So technically I do have open DMs now. So it was not that was not the case before.
Jay says Matt is a great dude. Plus he plays MLB this show. Matt, is there any place else people can find your work? I know they can find it over at Gridiron Ratings.
So if they'd like to, obviously first like, subscribe, and comment, and all that fun stuff here on, for the Front Yard Fantasy YouTube. But we're actually starting now. We weren't promoting it heavily. We're going to start doing it because me and my co-host Jeff DiMatteo, who's actually the site operator and owner for Gridiron Ratings. If you want to follow us, like, subscribe, do all this stuff over there on our YouTube at Gridiron Ratings, we would love that. We're going to start now, really pumping out and producing and saying all this stuff. We wanted to build, I come off out of the woodwork a month and a half ago. So we wanted to get, the real relationship down. I've been on exactly as many shows with him as I have been with you guys. So we wanted to get that all done.
Wait. We can't let him beat us. Then.
Yeah.
Listen,
we're going to get Matt back on.
We're going to be coming back for number 4. Yeah, we'll do another show, but we have to stop it and then start again. That way it counts as a new one. Otherwise, it's just 3. You just say it slow. Burner wants someone to send him the Discord link so we can have a new avenue to harass these guys. And Scott says someone send me the guy's cell numbers so I can have a new avenue to harass these guys.
I have technically considered that before because there's so I actually want to I'm not going to say the name, but someone actually reached out to me. So people know what went down with me last year, so I want to just get this in real quick. I have said before, if you're struggling with mental health or any sort of situations you got going on, be able to reach out to me. Someone actually did that. Someone that's well known in the community and a lot of people talk to and love. I'm I'm not going to say the name in case it's not, they don't want to keep it that way. But I'm touched that person reached out. I've even said before, like, if I need to give my phone number, I'll do so, because I never want someone to go down and have what happened to me last year. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. It's really important. It's why I like, promoting people every single day with the Nifty 91. I'm trying to do. I'm trying to play Scott Fish. We're trying to set up a community thing on the same day as the Fantasy Expo, not to kill their vibe, but a lot of people can't go. So a few other content creators and myself are trying to put a little, haphazard sort of mini podathon on the same
That's
day.
awesome.
I know it sounds like you guys are all going, so unfortunately I won't be able to see you, but I got to pay for college, so I can't.
I saw you kind of try to build that up, though. I think that's a great
awesome.
idea. Like,
anyone not going to the expo, make sure you check out Matt's Twitter. I know he's got some stuff on there, and get involved with that. I love that you're doing that.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, no concrete details yet. If you are a content creator, though, you make stuff, you write articles, you are familiar on camera, because we're going to try to do some on-camera work. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to have a StreamYard thing open for people to come in who want to talk about football and have some fun and all that sort of stuff. Because I want to be able to have other people who felt like they're being left out and couldn't afford to go. I would love for them to be able to come in and talk with us. Some more details soon. We're going to try and get it all start up within the next, 2 weeks or so, but a lot of great people so far who are trying to reach out and really do something. So I'm really happy to see if it works. Cool. If it doesn't work, we tried. So that's all I got.
I just saw Scott said trying to get digits, and then Scott said I only have JL cell, so he's sick of you, JL. He wants our cell. And then I saw that Joey put a phone number in there, and I was trying to see if I Googled it real quick to see if it was actually his number. And unless Joey works at the Fantasy World Resort in Universal Studios Orlando, Florida, and that's where he lives, that is not his phone number. So I'm gonna feel fully comfortable putting that up on the screen now.
Whose number is it?
It's
the
Fantasy World Resort in Florida. 407-867-5.
Random number.
That's the front office.
Fantasy football phone number, like into Google, and that was the first thing that popped up.
I would love that, Scott. Again, I don't know what I'm doing, and again, we have very little. Like it's like 5, 6, 7 of us right now who are trying to organize this. So, I will try, the one who was also Scott Barrett, Chris Mashinsky, Joel Segrist. There's a lot of, I think actually Stoner. I think Stoner just got added. This Stoneburner. I think he actually just got added last night. I think we're trying. There's like, I said, yes. There's Stoneburner. Yeah, Clayne Stoneburner.
Oh, that's his last name.
Yeah. He actually just got added like last night. So there's a few of us trying to get this together. So if it works out, I will definitely reach out, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So
if you want to hang out with Clayton Moneburner and Matt, let us know. And then excuse me for not knowing Jenny's area code. I didn't know there was an area code in that song, Joey, but maybe I just need to listen to it again. But the 867-5309, yeah, we should all be embarrassed for not immediately recognizing that.
I did not catch it.
Joey said, Matt, I really enjoyed you today. I was following you before, but now you're on alerts, baby.
That is touching. I have no one on alerts, but that's because I'm on the phone anyway. I'm always just scrolling no matter what. So.
Okay, guys, I think that's it for us today. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Trading does make fantasy fun. Adios, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Bye.